Hello everybody, what's up, how you doing? Today, we're gonna be doing the honorary time tradition that I stopped doing quite a bit, but we're gonna do it this time, and that is breaking down the 2.3 possible stuff that's probably gonna be in it to set our expectations well for the future of Genshin Impact, especially considering that 2.2 was a horrendous, and I mean horrendous, update in terms of content. So today I have my trusty notepad here open with a bunch of notes about everything that 2.3 might have, as well, like including like what the theme of the main update's gonna be, if there's gonna be new areas, if they're the new characters that are gonna be in it, what the main content is in terms of like new bosses, new teapot features, all of that stuff. So we're gonna go over all of that right now. But before we get started, you should subscribe if you want to, but you can always unsubscribe for free. So might as well do it. But joking aside, let's get on with this. So for a little summary here at the top, I want to talk about what I think is going to be the 2.3 update, and it's going to be the final Inazuma lore. Now, what do I mean by this? It's going to wrap up the little put a little bow on Inazuma, because although we've gotten that sort of with the 2.1 Archon Quest drop with when we fought Signora and when we fought Ball, you know, this would bring it all together nicely with a small little epilogue. Then in terms of areas, of new areas, I think it's going to be either the Chasm, which I don't think is very likely, but definitely a new area for sure, because we need something to put all of the main content that is coming, which I think is going to be the a new Geo boss, new artifact domains for defense percent, and you know, there has to be a new place to hold Itto's story in. We could just retread similar ground in previous islands, but I feel like with Itto, with how interesting his backstory is about being, you know, like a gang member, and there's not that much gang presence, quote unquote, in Inazuma, with maybe a couple of exceptions in a couple of the cities. I feel like it would be nice to introduce a small little area that is like the gang hideout or something like that. And finally, we skipped over it, but because transitions was easier. We have the main characters, which are Albedo and Itto and Goro for this update. Itto and Goro would be coming together in one banner, and I'll explain why in just a sec. So first, in terms of content, this 2.3 is going to be the finale of the Inazuma-centered story, in my opinion. I feel like we might get the Chasm, if there's a chance. But the other half of me is also thinking, because the Chasm is what ties what we currently have of world map with Sumeru, I think the Chasm might be held off for the future. But right now, they haven't teased anything, and we've gotten all of the 6 islands that they had promised. So I don't know what new area it could be aside from the Chasm, and it would make a lot of sense if the new Geo boss was in the Chasm, because the Chasm is like a broken down mine, and it's a Geo boss, you know, it works. But speaking of that boss, I think we're gonna get a new boss. I think we're gonna get a new Geo specifically boss, since we're getting 2 new Geo characters with Goro and Itto, and the only Geo bosses that we've ever gotten are the Geo Hypostasis, and sort of the Primo Geo Bishop, but the Primo Geo Bishop also shares elements for, you know, other elements whenever he randomly absorbs one. So he's more of like a Magu Kenki or a Perpetual Mechanical Array, where they just kind of do their thing. They have multiple elements, so I don't think it would necessarily qualify as a Geo specific, you know, boss. And even if we do count the Geo Bishop as a Geo specific boss, the Geo Bishop like was introduced all the way back in like when change history. Let's go. Introduced in version 1.3. That's the last Geo boss we've ever gotten. The last Geo Mystery we've ever gotten was in 1.3, which was almost a full calendar year ago. So Geo deserves some love. They're getting 2 new characters, so they also deserve a new boss and new materials. With that said, speaking of Geo deserving some more love, I think Geo is gonna get, or specifically a defense percent characters are gonna get a new artifact domain. because the last artifact domain ever introduced was the recently put Shimenawa's Reminiscence and Emblem of Silver Fate, which came in at 2.0, which has been almost 3 updates ago, and 3 updates by the time 2.3 releases, meaning that it's a good time to put another set. Plus, there's actually the only thing that benefits Geo characters, aside from Zhongli benefiting from Tenacity of the Millilith from HP percent, is the Archaic Petra set, which has a Geo damage bonus plus 50%, and you get extra. You don't even give yourself extra damage bonus, you just give all party members damage bonuses of the element you make a crystallized reaction with. Which means that Itto, for example, which he's most likely going to be a Geo DPS, considering, you know, he's a big Claymore, big buff guy, it makes a lot of sense. But he doesn't have a set to boost himself. He only, right now, he only has a 2-piece set to boost his Geo damage, and like I guess he could have like a bloodstained 2-piece set on top of that, but that's not really that great, to be honest. Plus, because Geo damage bonus is already, you know, taken up by the Archaic Petra set, by including a defense percent bonus, you are including a set that doesn't cover that base, while also giving Itto, I don't know, Noel, Albedo, maybe Goro, a whole new set that they can work with, which is really strong for them. Now, in terms of furniture, I think the teapot is, well, I have to lay the groundwork that every single update has gotten a major Serenity teapot, like little patch on it. 1.5 introduced the teapot, 1.6 introduced inviting characters into your teapot, 2.0 introduced farming in the teapot, 2.1 introduced fishing and the whole having a pond in your little teapot, like you can put those ponds so you can throw your fish in. 2.2 added the new realm and the new Inazuma furniture, and so 2.3 I think is going to add custom furniture, because if you guys don't know, tomorrow, as the time of this recording, is going to start the Dreams of Bloom flower gardening event. Now, the flower gardening event, well, what it lets you do is it lets you grow flowers, which is really cute. You can send it to friends and, you know, give each other gifts. But here's the cool thing, you can make your own custom flower stands. Now, why would they spend this much effort into making a whole new system about creating custom furniture within the, you know, limited set that it gives you? But still, custom furniture, if they're not gonna take care, if they're not gonna like take advantage of it. They've done that with the boat, with how they introduced it at 1.6 and kept it in 2.0 as a move of transportation between the different Inazuma Islands. So I feel like it only makes sense for them to carry over the custom furniture idea if it does pretty well, and put it in 2.3 as a major teapot furniture. Second to last, I think that, I say this all this time, to be honest, and you know, it's kind of a joke at this point, but maybe, hopefully, we finally get the Inazuma Festival that we've been really, at least I have been looking really forward to, because we've gotten the Lantern Rite Festival, we got the Windbloom Festival, so it only makes sense for Inazuma to also get its festival. However, if they wait too long to do the festival and it's not on this update, it's gonna start, you know, delaying a lot of things, because the Lantern Rite Festival happened in February 10th, which would be around the tail end of the next update, and meaning they could either just move it forward or move it back, it depends really. And after that was the Windbloom Festival in 1.4 in March, right? Where was it? Yeah, Windbloom, March, right here. So if they don't do the Inazuma Festival this time, then the Lantern Rite Festival is gonna start, and then the Windbloom Festival is gonna start, and then the Inazuma Festival would happen, which would mean that, like, at that point we're at like what, May, June, and at that point the next update would be the, you know, the beginning of Sumeru, you know, assuming they also take just until that point to make Sumeru. And it would just, in my head it doesn't work timeline wise, because they also need a patch in between to kind of explain the story lead up to Sumeru, which I'll get onto a little bit right now. In terms of the story, I think we'll probably get either a very, very big world quest like we got for 2.2 with the new island, or what I think is more likely and personally exciting is we're gonna get the epilogue of the Inazuma story, or like we got for the Liyue portion, the sibling related content. This would help out, you know, pan out the preparation towards moving the story back to Liyue and eventually Sumeru, since, you know, the Chasm is right in between Sumeru and Liyue, so we need to get back to Liyue in the context of the story, get into the Chasm, and then get to Sumeru. Which means that having a quest that gives you know, the traveler in Paimon a reason aside from, oh, let's just keep going through the nations and see if we can find more information about what's going on. You know, like it's like taking that and like saying like, no, fuck that, that's a bad story, and like giving them a genuine reason, like chasing after their sibling into the Chasm. Would be pretty neat, and it would set up the future for the prologue for Sumeru, sort of how we got the prologue for Inazuma. And here comes the funny bit, because I had started writing the notes for the script, the notes for the timeline, before Genshin announced that we were getting we were getting the special program, and they just straight up just showed Albedo on the front cover. So we know for a fact now Albedo is in 2.3, and this is going to be a Geo Supremacy patch, but so yeah, with this special program announced and Albedo already shown, I think that it's gonna be Albedo on one banner and Itto and Goro on a separate banner, on the same banner, because, well, recently they've been, you know, they haven't been shy of putting new 4-stars with more popular characters. We have, what was her name? Freaking, you know, Lilipichu, the Sayu. Sayu was within Yoimiya's banner, even though, like, that one sort of counts because Ayaka was also a new character. But, Ball was with Sarah, and they're both Electro, you know. Goro is also, you know, Geo, just like Itto, you know. Albedo is also, I'm giving really bad pitches for this. But I think that what the main point is that Hu Tao, one of the most popular characters, got Toma on her banner. Instead of, you know, Mihoyo could have easily thrown Toma on, like, the child banner in order to boost sales, because, you know, some people would have wanted to get Toma regardless. So they would have wished on the child banner, on the Tartaglia banner, but they didn't. They threw Toma in the Hu Tao banner, maybe because of Pyro Resonance, who knows. And so my pitch is that Itto and Goro will be on the same banner, because Itto will be a DPS, and maybe Goro will be a support, sort of how, you know, well, Ball is not really DPS, you can use her as a DPS, but Sarah is a support for Ball. Plus, I think this, it would be really nice of him, to be honest. This is not really a point, but I just think it would be really nice of him, because Itto is the most hyped character of all time, and like, it's like, well, maybe not of all time, but certainly in social media at the very least, where it counts the most for marketing purposes, because they have like the biggest, Itto has the biggest Twitter post of Genshin Impact's history for new character announcements. And so it'd be really nice of them, after the sort of burn that was 2.1 and 2.2, to throw the community a bone and give Goro, an also highly anticipated character, on the same banner as Itto. So yeah. But with all of that said, let's touch upon it one more time, just so you don't forget. 2.3 will be the final Inazuma lore that is going to introduce a new area for sure, in order to house the Itto story, the new Geo boss, and new artifact domains for defense percent. It might be the Chasm, it might not be. I don't think it will be the Chasm, but hey, who knows? They might throw a curveball. I've been curveballed before. I think the teapot's gonna get custom furniture with small tweaks to the furniture we already have, like different color schemes, etc., etc. And there's gonna be the final chapter for the Inazuma Act, which is gonna be the epilogue of the story, which is gonna be the main brothers storyline. And finally, the characters in the banners are going to be Albedo on one banner and Itto and Goro on another one, just because of, you know, they have been kind of nice with these character releases, with putting the more popular characters with the new characters, and you know, Sarah a support for Ball, and Goru maybe a support for Itto. So yeah, you know, it works. But with all of that said, thank you very so much for watching. I'm gonna be live streaming the 2.3 live presentation this Friday on my Twitch channel, so go check that out if you're interested in watching someone freak out about, you know, the Geodaddy himself. Well, the second Geodaddy, because I would never, I mean never, betray Jean-Louis. That said, thank you very so much for watching. I appreciate it. Papa bless, all the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.